Welcome to Finding Roots, the show where I discover the diverse worlds and cultures of renowned musicians, delving into their unique stories while uncovering the passions and motivations that drive them in their musical journeys, while recreating flavors that are significant in their lives. Hsin Hsuan Wu is one of the bright stars of the percussion world, particularly in Europe and her home Taiwan. She began her career as a member of the Ju Percussion Group, run by her professor at university, Chongqing Ju. For over 10 years, she toured and performed as a soloist and with the ensemble before deciding to continue her studies in France at the famous Conservatoire in Lyon. Today, she came to my home to teach me how to make her mother's pork trotters while we discussed her path to her current life in Europe.
Yes, it's kind of traditional dish in Taiwan, and it's one of my favorite dish from my mom. So I asked for years how to cook it, but actually it's very easy. There's no secrets, soya sauce and wine, sugar, a little bit ginger, and we need time to cook it.
Perfect. Time is always important,
Time is
isn't it?
magic.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Well, we're going to chop these up now because they're a bit too big, and so let's have a go at that.
Let's go.
Hsin Hsuan is not only an incredible musician, she is a brilliant academic. She finished her doctorate in Taiwan while working on her artist diploma in France. While studying, Hsin Hsuan was invited to be an assistant professor at the Conservatoire National Supérieur Musique et Danse de Lyon and gained her place in Les Percussions de Strasbourg. Shortly after this, the Conservatoire de Caen offered her a professorship, and she successfully navigated the national exams conducted in French, which were needed to retain this position. In 2024, by chance the week that we filmed, Hsin Hsuan learned that she had been offered the position of professor of the Hochschule in Mannheim, one of the most prestigious German music schools. As we tried to prepare the trotters for cooking, it became obvious that we needed another solution. Okay, this is hilarious, but we finally figured out.
Yes, how it works.
Yes, we have. We had a lot of help between all the people in the house. So now with the brick and a cloth. Okay,
Actually,
ready?
I play songs in the Percussion of Strasbourg. There's one instrument, one of the instruments.
Okay.
But I never thought that I can play
with the
kitchen
kitchen.
and with the knife.
See?
Let's go.
So we have the meat chopped. It was washed and now it's being boiled. We'll actually wash that and throw away the water and then reboil with all the seasonings. So I'll drain that now. You actually decided to do the deboning the chicken already as well.
Okay, that is the dish called 口水鸡. It means it's in Chinese and it means mouth-watering
Mouth-watering chicken.
because it's too good. So when you think about it, you're like, oh, mouth-watering. And so with this, I'll put some legume, some vegetables with. So now I'm going to chop some vegetables to prepare that.
Perfect. And you put rice wine and salt on that one for marination.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then we're going to just take couple minutes, let's grab some tea and we can actually chat since now we kind of have a few things underway. It's like you said, we need so much time to prepare everything, and so this is everything can be bubbling away while we have a nice little chat and we chop some vegetables and stuff. So what kind of tea you want? So should we have some Alishan oolong or
it would be nice.
As you can see, Hsin Hsuan has this intense intellect and vast musicianship. And yet, on the other hand, she is a lighthearted and easy character, someone I love to sit and drink tea with, or like last summer when I was in Taiwan, spend an evening eating bingxiling, Taiwanese ice cream, and wandering around the night market.
So we have the pork is now on.
Yes.
It's going to cook. So we drained it and washed it. And then what did you add?
I put some soy sauce, some rice wine, and then I think a little bit ginger and a little bit sugar.
In Chinese culture and Taiwanese culture, you really can't ever just have one thing, can you? Like it'd be very strange to have a meal with just one dish.
Yes.
So
We'll get bored.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is why I like to eat this way too, because it's like for me too. I don't like to have just one thing. I like to try a lot of things. So this, and you also we have pork and then we have chicken. You would never have the same meat twice. Normally
we try to avoid.
And also cooking styles. Cooking technique is also should be not the same, like stew.
And not the same sauce.
And not the same sauce, exactly. So it's always very interesting. I love it. I love this because then you always having different flavors. And actually today, we won't have any stir fry because
No, I think easier
because of the situation where we go take the food to somebody else's house. So for reheating, not having a stir fry is easier. But actually, normally would typically
a lot of like stir food and
quick fry food and things as well.
Our plan for the day was to bring food to a friend's house to allow Hsin Hsuan to use his marimba to play for our gathered friends, including this piece.
So, for our vegetable dish, you're going to make something with the radish.
Yes. I'll do the pickled radish, and besides it's not a real dish like for vegetable, like traditional in Taiwan. It's more like an appetizer because I put some sugar and vinegar with it, so it will give you more appetite. Yeah, I think I'll cut it like half into the soup and then half to pickle radish.
And I'll take care of that. Yeah. And what are you going to do with the other pieces?
Okay, so for the cucumber and the sweet pepper and the green onion and a little bit ginger, I will take it for the mouth-watering chicken. Yeah.
I can't remember if this was just now or if it was earlier, but you said, like, for example, épicerie and things like this, and it's in French, and it's so. Did you learn French only when you arrived in France?
I learned like during 1 year before I arrived, and I thought I can use it, but
Yeah, but it's different when you arrive, right? So you knew you were going to come to France, and were you coming to France for the job with Les Percussions de Strasbourg? Or?
No, not at all. Actually, I just came for study.
Okay, and where?
In Lyon.
In Lyon, yeah, very famous school.
Yeah, so when I had this idea to come to France, I started to learn French.
Okay.
But I was working, so I was kind of busy or something, so I prepared it at the same time with everything. And but I learned for 1 year. And then I came to France, and I realized that, no, nothing worked.
Yeah.
So I think I had 3 months language school at the same time when I do the conservatory. So it was very
that
intense.
must have been so intense.
Yeah. Like every day is like 4 hours language and 4 hours conservatory, and the night it depends on what I need. So other like.
So like you're doing, minimum 12 hours a day. I mean, I know how much you have to practice as well, especially if
for
you're
instruments
studying.
also, and for French also. So it was not easy at the beginning.
Yeah. And so how long ago was that?
How long?
Yep. Which year did you come to Europe?
I came to France at 2016.
Okay.
So it's like 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you were in Lyon for 1 year, and did you win the job directly after?
Actually, I didn't think of it when I arrived. I do my artist diploma in the CNSM of Lyon for 2 years. And I thought to come back to Taiwan because I know it's very difficult to get a job in Europe as an étranger,
a foreigner.
Foreigner, yeah. And but during my study, Les Percussions de Strasbourg, they called me for the project.
Oh.
Yeah, because they need someone very kind of urgently because one musician is like he broke his arm or something.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, so they called me and I went and then I played like a few concerts like together with them to replace this musician, and then I think I did a job not too bad.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and so
seeing as you're still there.
So the director asked me to come to Strasbourg after my study. Now this is a big chance for me. I was really happy. And the other thing I didn't dream about is after that, after my study, my professor Jean Geoffroy, he called me one day. He's like, can we have a talk? I said, okay, I think you want to talk about my graduate project or something. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, are you interested in teaching? I was like, yeah, I like it. I teach a lot in Taiwan. And I said, okay, so actually I'm looking for someone for CNSMD in Lyon. Are you talking about me?
Amazing.
And so he asked me to stay at Lyon actually just after my study.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, the two dream places for me. So I was like,
and it's
sure.
not so far apart. You could actually manage both. Like,
it's like
I'm sure it was hard, but like
Lyon is like 4 hours train.
Yeah.
So I do it like every 4 hours, like one
direction.
One way.
Yeah.
So I did like every week.
Aller-retour.
Yeah. Yes.
But there and back.
Yeah, during 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But this were my first job in France, so it was amazing.
That's amazing. And so I feel like we kind of almost went backwards. We kind of, we started in the middle, didn't we? I didn't hear about earlier.
Yes.
And we have things that are happening now.
Yes.
So we kind of start in the middle. So now we need to like go both ways. Wait, before you came to France, then you were studying in Taiwan, obviously.
Yes.
And which school was that?
I was in Taipei National University of the Arts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you might know that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I do
and your teacher was very famous there as well, right?
Yes, Mr. Ju.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's my doctor professor.
Okay.
Advisor professor, and also my master professor actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and actually when I was in Taiwan, from 18 years old, I entered his percussion ensemble.
Okay.
Which called Ju Percussion Group.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that. It's a very famous group in Taiwan. Yeah, so I was there during 10 years almost, and at the same time I did my bachelor, master, and almost my doctor.
Oh.
And it's at the end of my study, I found out that I want to. There's something missing in my music universe, and really want to find it out. And it was at this time Jean Geoffroy was coming to Taiwan, and he did a masterclass in the university.
Okay.
It's a 1 week masterclass. So
quite intense.
Yeah, it's quite intense, and I was just like fall in love of everything he said in the music.
Okay.
Yeah. So but I was in this group and I was like developing my career already.
Yep.
So it's not very easy for me to do like
to make a decision.
Quit Taiwan, quit my country, and go to another place I know nobody there.
Yep.
Yeah. So so after this 10 years study, and with these super professors in Taiwan, I feel this desire to go out to
to expand your world a little bit, because I was just having that conversation with somebody else just about how important it is to go beyond your because we go in these little bubbles, and to become the best musician you can be, or even best kind of anything that you can be. It's really important to like find yourself in uncomfortable situations time to time, and push your boundaries a little bit.
Yes, to come out from the comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly, because you never grow very much in the comfort zone, right?
Yes.
Sorry, let me just ask you how to cut this one well.
I don't know how to say English, but it's like a roll cut. We say
Oh,
guan dao,
like so
it's
you do like this,
Yeah, and
and
then
then
you
you
roll
roll.
and-
Okay,
yeah.
I'll
How
do
to
my
say that
best.
in English?
We don't have a word for it, so yeah.
So-
But I know what you're talking about. I'll do
Yeah.
my best.
Yes,
Tell
but
me
it's
how
okay,
I go.
just like a
So-
morceau, a cube.
Yeah, cubes. Did you go to a specialist high school for music as well? Like I know a lot of my friends did.
Yeah, like in Taiwan, the conservatoire is in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends. There are like in Taoyuan, there are only 2 elementary school and I think 2 or 3 college, and then 2 or 3 high school that have like music. It's not a department, but it's a music class.
Okay.
And I start like when I was 8 with the music class. And yeah, before that I learned always piano. And when you get into this class, you have to choose your second instrument because everyone have to play two instruments. And yeah, and my piano teacher suggested me like, oh, I think you should learn percussion. And I even didn't hear it. Like, what's percussion? You know,
Yeah.
it's like 30 years ago. And
Yeah.
in Taiwan, like, I think in all the world it's the same. Like percussion, you mean drums or something? And she's like, yeah, because you are so, energetic and active, and I think percussion suits you. I was like,
She wasn't wrong. I mean,
she wasn't wrong. It's really thanks to her.
impressive. Yeah.
And but I don't know. I didn't know what is it. And she's like, yeah, the marimba. It's like a big piano, and you can playing while running. I was like, wow, it's amazing. I will take it, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, that's me.
Yeah, so my parents was very brave. They just bought a marimba, a small one, but directly. And I still remember the day the marimba arrived at the home. I was like, wow, so this is the marimba that I can.
Wow.
I really need to run while playing, and also I was too small. So the marimba is like this height. So my dad like constructed a small stair for me to like I can get higher and play on my marimba. Yeah, so I start from that time my percussion.
So that was 8 years old, you said?
Yeah.
Wow. But that's impressive too, because it's really young to already have a marimba. I mean, I think percussion, normally you start with snare, you start with all these
But
more
in
typical
Taiwan,
things.
it's quite different. I mean, in Asia, when we learn percussion, like in the classical way, you always start with like marimba, snare, drum, timpani, already this. Yeah, I know here in Europe, it's more like a drum set, snare drum.
Often, yeah.
And then if you decide to learn percussion, and you learn like marimba, timpani or something. Yeah, so we start from marimba.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. But it's good then you still have the tuned, like pitched side rather than only doing unpitched.
Yes.
So your ears are being trained a different way, I think, too, right?
And it's very interesting because we all have to learn piano. The 2 instruments that we have to learn, they have to be piano. I mean,
piano has to be one.
Yeah.
So everybody plays some piano.
Yes.
Which is why we had the party the other night, and our friend Wen was over, and she's just sight reading beautiful piano. Because she's, even though that's not her instrument normally, she's just playing. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
So now I have a little bit better timeline. I started from the middle. I went backwards, and so you grew up in Talion, and started your music career in school, and start percussion at 8, and you went through, you did your undergraduate, master's, almost did your doctorate, but you decided not to finish in the end?
Yes, I did it, but after.
Really?
I was in the middle of my doctorate degree when I
you
arrived
went
in France.
But
So
you
I
didn't stop it. You did
I didn't stop it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really crazy, girl.
Yeah, so I got my doctorate degree and my artist diploma degree in France at the same time.
And you're French, and and good at job. You are crazy. I love it.
This year was...
That was like an insane year. Wow, I'm super impressed.
It was like crazy.
Wow, that's really impressive. And so you were traveling around Europe a lot, doing different master classes, like just like studying master classes as well, or you did more like I know that Laurent, who will go to visit later, he's gonna let us use his house to have some little performance. He was saying he met you at a master class, but I actually wasn't sure if you guys were studying at the same master class or you were giving a master class.
I think I met him in the competition.
maybe
in Luxembourg.
competition.
Yeah, because in Luxembourg there's a very famous percussion ensemble competition.
Really?
Yeah, and
I
I
didn't
met
know.
in this competition actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I've lived here 20 years and I didn't realize. How did I know about your teacher in Taiwan and not about the famous percussion competition here? Okay, really interesting. What is that called?
I think it's IPCL, so it's International Percussion Competition in Luxembourg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting.
Yes.
So it's great that we know him in common, so that he's very kindly offered to let us use his house for performance, and we'll eat dinner there just a little bit later once.
With his wonderful marimba.
Yeah, you know the one he has.
Yes.
Super. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. After that, but I know you're teaching in Caen at the minute.
Yes. After my job in CNSM, I went to Caen. Yeah, it's in Normandy in France, on the west side, and this time it was a professor position.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I do the assistant job in Lyon, I teach a lot, but I don't have the class to manage. I don't have the administration thing to work on, and I realized that I want to have one class of mine. Yeah.
So you can organize everything.
Yeah.
But that's also impressive too, because you have to do all of that in French. It's one thing to speak French and work in French
and write,
but to write and do administrative tasks in French is another thing.
This is another
super
thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then this position in Caen, I had it luckily just after I quit. I stopped my job in Lyon, and this is actually I don't know how to say that, in a public servant position.
Oh yeah, so So you actually have to pass the civil exams.
I need to pass the exam, and this.
What?
This was luck.
I'm more and more impressed, honestly, because I know how hard those in German they say Beamte, but in French the service civil or whatever.
Yeah, so and it's every 4 years for one exam. I mean, you can have it's like Olympic.
Okay, so you can only take the exam once every 4 years, or they run the exam only once every 4 years.
The exam for professor is only every 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the assistant exam is more like 2 years or every year or something. But for the professor, it's every 4 years.
Wow.
So
so amazing.
After I got this job, I passed this exam 1 year after.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah. So you could teach the job for 1 year, but then you have to take the exam after 1 year.
Yeah, legally you have to pass this exam to have your CDD, your long-term contract.
The long-term contract, not just a CDD.
At this point, after steaming the chicken, we finished preparing the food and drove across town to our mutual friend's house, marimba player Laurent Warnier, who kindly offered to let us use his instrument for a mini concert and to host some friends for a meal together. In between finishing the dishes, setting the table, and preparing the room for the concert, Hsin Hsuan and I ducked into the garden to chat about her latest news.
It's quite new. I just knew it a week ago. Is that I'll start my new career in Mannheim next year.
Mannheim.
In
It's
Hochschule.
a big deal.
Yeah.
The Hochschule is huge.
In Hochschule in Mannheim for
That's
percussion
incredible.
professor. Yeah. I was very happy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm
That's
very happy
super
about
cool.
it. And it's another adventure for me now to start my new life in Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, tell me a little bit about your process of getting into that position.
Yeah, actually, there's it's quite different, in France and in Germany, how they ask for people to come to apply for this job, and in Germany they're the documents, and then you have a lot of lesson to teach, and then you have to play a recital. And so it was a lot of work for me, and I'm quite happy that it works at the end.
Yeah.
I did it all the process is almost 1 year. And also at the same time I still teach in Caen. I have my class, and I have my recitals and my concerts with Les Percussions de Strasbourg.
So I guess you'll leave your class in Caen now.
But that was sad.
Yeah.
Really.
That's so hard to leave your students, isn't it?
Yes, also. And last week I was I was like considering like what should I do and how should I tell them, and but they were happy for me anyway.
Of course.
Sure,
Of course.
But it was really, I was really happy these 3 years I was in Caen.
Yeah.
It's totally new experience after in the CNSM of Lyon, because the Conservatoire Superior and the CRR is totally different system. So I learned a lot of things, and I learned a lot of new experiences too. And it's already, I can see it already in the audition. I mean, when I have to teach. I had to teach in the audition, so I see already like, wow, the style is different, and the way they play is different, and it's very interesting.
That is the really interesting thing, though. Like, so you came from Taiwan, and then you spent this time in France, and now you're going to be in Germany, and so you're just constantly changing your environment.
Yes.
And I mean, is there anything in particular that you found is either inspiring you to keep on changing your environment like that, or is it just more that you're curious, or is it just circumstance?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, because when I was in Taiwan, I was really like on the regular trail. That means I did my education like in the music class, and then I do the universities, and then work. Everything's so, it's not, I won't say it's normal, but everything's so like you should be like this, and
there's this like path, and you're doing
there's like a path, and you follow the path, and everything went well actually. And then I did this decision to come to France, and everything changed after that. It's like I don't know anything anymore. Like, even when people talk, even I understand what they're talking, I can understand what they mean, the cultural code or something. And I think it really like changed my mind, and I was like, wow, the world could be so different.
And definitely.
People could be so different. And then when you pass this, you will feel like, oh, actually people are the same.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Where you have like, you think everything's completely another thing, and then actually no, but we all come back to the same place where we're all just we're kind of looking for the same things, right? But our just path to get there sometimes is a bit different.
Yeah, the path is so different, and then you realize that, oh, actually it's universal.
Yeah.
And but I was already a curious person, like in Taiwan. I was like, every time people ask me like, I have something very difficult, and you have to play it like in 2 weeks on a big stage. Can you do it? I always said, okay, yes, why not?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
But I think that's so important, like this ability to say yes to things.
Yes.
I think the most important professors I always had were always, that was one of the first things they said was like, you have to have this open mind and say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But actually, every time after I say yes, I regret. I was like, why should I say that? Oh my God, it's so difficult. It's not possible. And you practice it, and you are learning actually. And then at the end, it turns out like, okay, you could do it actually.
Yeah.
So with these experiences, I was like, actually, I can do it. Even every time, it's still difficult. Everything is difficult. But I start to like build this on my mind. It's like, why not? Just do it. So like when I came to France, I think this is the big changing point in my life. I was like, why not? Let's just do it. And it was difficult too, because I quit all my students, all the school I teach, and the group I was during 10 years, all the people I know, my family. And then I came to France and I understood nothing. And I still remember there are some nights I was alone in my room. It's a small room because I paid like very little at the beginning because I don't earn the money anymore.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like crying in my room, like, why I'm here and what I'm doing is horrible. But I mean, the next day you see the sun, you're like, okay, today will be good. Let's do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I graduated from CNSM, and when Jean like asked me about the assistant position, I was so afraid about it, because I was at that time, it's the third year in France, and my French is okay, but I mean I learned very hard, but it was okay. I won't say I spoke like perfectly or something.
Yeah.
And then I just like, okay. Yeah, I would like to do it, even I was so afraid. And then I did a lot of work. Like during the vacation, I was like, okay, I have to prepare. I prepared a lot of things. And then it went well.
Yeah.
And then I have to quit Lyon, and I was like, okay, what should I do? And then somebody told me, like, in Caen, there's a professor position, you should do it. But Strasbourg and Caen is like the most east side, and anyway, it's 2 parts.
Totally. How did you get there? But what was the?
It's like 5 hours train or something, or 6 hour even, something.
Yeah.
And I know it will be difficult because I still work in the Percussion de Strasbourg, and I have to a lot of aller-retour thing to. Yeah, I know it will be difficult. I know it might be tired, but I was like,
but have to do it.
You have to do it. There's no professor positions every day, and it's a very good conservatory, so why not?
Yeah.
And I did it, and I was really lucky. I earned it, and I start my life in Caen. It's the third time I moved to a city that I knew no one. And then 3 years later, I saw this position in Mannheim.
Yeah, and that would be very different.
Yeah.
That would be very different,
But
I'm sure.
Mannheim is like nearby Strasbourg, and it's a Hochschule, it's a professor position. And once again, I was like, why not? Let's just give it a try. And so I was really happy it works at the end. And I know it will be like a lot of challenges which are waiting for me. But this is life.
Amazing, though. It's life, and it's important, and it's amazing that you keep open in your mind, open in your way of thinking, so that you can say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that you have that.
Yeah, I'm more like excited than afraid to move to another place. I was like, oh yeah.
It's amazing though that like you can keep your mind so open, but it's not always easy to keep that way, right?
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I'm just tell myself like it's okay to be fail. Yeah. It's okay to be fail. It's too difficult, so it's normal. You didn't get it,
Yeah, but I think that is such an important thing that we sort of say like, oh, but if I fail, that's it. It's over. And like, but just saying to yourself, actually, no, it's okay to fail.
Yeah.
That gives you permission to try.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think when I play on the stage, I won't say that. Like, if you fail, it's okay. I was like, this is more stressful. But like this kind of opportunity to go to somewhere that you don't know yet. And anyway, you will know it. You know, it's just a time you have to.
It's just time, isn't it?
It's
time, like our pork trotters.
Yes,
you
everything.
Need the time. Everything takes time. Yeah, exactly. Do you find you still are homesick for Taiwan sometimes?
I still remember the first time. I think it's the third or second year I was in France. And then I saw the bubble tea shop from Taiwan at the street. And I see the flag of Taiwan. And I was crying. Yeah, I was just like,
totally.
It's a bubble tea. It's a bubble tea shop. And I start to cry. And I was shocked by myself because I didn't expect that he's coming like
to have that
homesick.
Strong reaction, right?
Yeah, and I think the food helps a lot, actually. Yeah. Because when I was in Taiwan, I'm ashamed to say that, but I never cook in Taiwan. The most difficult thing I did is like spoil an egg or something. And so the first time I was in the supermarket in France, I was like, who are you? All this product and all these like vegetables and meats. I was like, what are they and what?
Like how?
Yeah,
how do we make those? And
yes. Yeah, in the beginning I make some noodles, like very easy noodles. Like, oh my god, I'm so good. I made some noodles for me, and I made a chicken. Oh my god, it's amazing. And then I spent a lot of time to ask my mom like how you do this and how you do that. And actually, I cook like more frequently than before than when I was in Taiwan. My mom, like every week I call like 2 or 3 times back home and just chat and well, I try to like come back to Taiwan twice a year, and I try to stay as long as I can. So I'm quite happy with this now, but I don't know. I still like maybe one day I'll come back to Taiwan. Maybe one day I can find a work that I can work half year in Taiwan, half year in Europe or something. But but the homesick at the beginning, it was really difficult.
It's really hard, right?
But I think I get better when I realize that people are all the same. I mean, we don't have the same culture. Maybe sometimes when French people talk about some movies or some songs, I was like, I have no idea what is it, but it's okay. I mean, you don't need to know everything, and it's normal.
I was really moved by Hsin Hsuan's life philosophy, the idea that it's okay to fail, that deep down we all want the same things, and because of that we can accept one another no matter our differences, and that we should say yes to opportunity. But what inspired me the most is that she doesn't just say these things, she lives them.
Do you want to hear more stories like this? Subscribe to my channel to discover other musicians and gain insight into their lives.